everybody, it's Monica. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. I appreciate you all for being here. In this week's video, we're actually doing a part 2 from last week's video where I showed you how to sublimate on a 100% cotton using the glitter heat transfer vinyl. But obviously in this week, as you can see from the title, we're doing the HTVRont Sublimation HTV for dark colors. I figured I might as well keep the series going. And of course, as you can see right now, I have it on my shirt, but I have it blurred out because obviously it's going to be a reveal at the end. So if you're interested, stick around, and that's coming up next. All right, you guys. So here we are in part 2 of the last video I did where I did the sublimation on the glitter. Now, I had already printed this out and I don't want to waste it. So I figured this would be a perfect time to try this once again on the HTVRont Sublimation Heat Transfer Vinyl for dark fabrics. And it is right here. Oops, excuse me, you guys. If you've seen some of my past videos, you see that I always get like a line around it. And I think it's inevitable because I do feel like the carrier sheet for this is so sticky that, in my opinion, I feel it stretches out the heat transfer vinyl a little bit. You don't see very many creators, as well, in my opinion, the ones I've seen, they just do a basic shape, circle, square, or something that has no intricate cuts. So you don't really see a lot of the white borders around anywhere. So I tried my best. So I went ahead and measured this with my ruler, and it's 15 by 5.75. This was before my last video, so I was still trying to get the right sizing and everything. So I needed to go back and create a duplicate and then try to do a cut as best as I could to match up with this, right? So I don't really need this, but I did measure this as at 5.75. Let me zoom in so you can see my tablet here for a little bit. So as you can see here, I did measure this to 5.75, but we don't need it. So, and because I already have my 2 templates already set up for the 2 sizes, so I don't need this anymore. I just needed to measure this one because I already had it. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that because I don't need it. I just need this. So all I pretty much did was, and to save time, this is why I did not, record what I was doing with the settings here. I just went back in, made a copy of the printed image, and then made it into a print. My apologies. All I did was make a copy of the printed image, and then I made it as a cut file, not a print and cut file. And then I did my cutout where you saw my last video. I did an offset of this, did the cutout and all that. So I'm hoping that, and I did measure out right here. Let me zoom back out. I did measure out enough of the sublimation vinyl to cover this. And I just don't like to waste material. So I'll probably make this and have it there for whichever of my 2 sisters want. They could just pay me for the shirt. Okay, so there's just enough here. So I'm going to go ahead and I got to turn on my Cricut. Otherwise, it's not going to do anything. I'm going to go ahead and make this. Both of these have to be mirrored, of course. So we have to load our mat first for the Selena cutout. So bear with me. I haven't decided on a color for that. So I'm just going to see what matches and I will be right back, okay? You guys, I think I'm going to go with this beautiful lavender glitter. And honestly, on this one, I don't think I'm going to put the rhinestones. I'm just going to do this because it's just going to be on the plain white. Why not add a little sparkle on the Selena signature with this? So this is the one that I am going to go with. So bear with me while I load my mat here. With the backing. This is so pretty. I haven't had, this was in one of my heat transfer vinyl mystery boxes that I got from Stahl's clearance. Stahl's is another maker of, if you've never heard of them, they have their own channel, of course, but they also make a lot of heat transfer vinyl, and I love getting their mystery boxes because you don't know what you're gonna get, but a lot of the time they you get a nice mix of glitter, regular vinyl. Sometimes there's flock in there. Sometimes there's a specialty heat transfer vinyl. I do have a video that I made quite a while back talking about the different heat transfer vinyls that they have, and also an unboxing if you want to go back. I don't know why when I upload my videos on YouTube from my tablet, I don't get the option to add an end card, but I'm going to see if I can go back and do that with some of my videos on my laptop, and hopefully I can link some of those previous videos on there, because I think this is a really good deal. I mean, it's Stahl's and Caesar are the ones I usually use, and a lot of the times I order my Caesar heat transfer vinyl from Amazon, or if it's on sale at Joann's or Michael's, then I'll buy it there. But that is why to use specifically Caesar and Stahl's. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and flip my camera over to my Cricut so we can get this cut out and get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and just send this over to my printer. Our mirror is on. I'm gonna connect our Cricut maker if it decides to move, because sometimes it takes its sweet time. My apologies, I did not realize that this thing was going to take its sweet time, so forgive me. Awesome. Okay, and I'm going to just do glitter iron on there and leave it the way it is. Okay, let's go to my Cricut and I will show you the cutout. I'll speed through that and then we'll move on to the HTVRont sublimation. All right, now we just need to make sure that it is in the right. My apologies, you guys. I want to make sure that it is layered the exact way that it shows right here on my tablet, right? The way it's loaded there. We got the S at the bottom and the A. See, we'll see. We will see. I do need to cut this out because this is a 13 by 19. This is before I started using a 11 by 17 paper. So let me pause real quick so I could just trim a little bit off the end, then I'll come right back. Okay, my apologies for that, you guys. Now this might throw off the entire cut because I initially printed this on a 13 by 19 sheet. It might completely throw it off, and in that case I might have to reprint it, and there goes the print wasted, right? But I'm gonna try it. I already have it, so I'm just going to give it a shot. There's no need to really tape this because it's paper and it's sticking fairly well. So let's go ahead and load it to my cutter and we'll come back and check out the cut results. You know what I just realized, you guys? I am going to have to keep this so I can cut it. Duh, because I just have the full sheet. I hadn't even cut it yet. So I've already cut my two materials for the shirt, as you saw. So now we're going to go ahead and send this to the printer and just load it on the mat. Okay, so let's go ahead and hide this since I already cut that out. Let me hide. And then we will send this one to cut. And we have already printed it, so all I need to do is just hit already printed. And then my material is going to be deluxe paper. And I'm going to leave it at the default setting. So let's go ahead and load my mat here. And then we will move on to cutting this, and then hopefully everything lines up. Fingers crossed. I'm a little concerned about this one because, like I've mentioned a million times, and I sound like a broken record, I don't like wasting materials. So this might very well cut really badly, but we shall see what happens. I'm not going to speed through this just in case, but I will kind of lower this a little bit and see what happens. Let's hope. I mean, I don't understand. It's kind of like reading the... Yeah, I have a feeling it's not going to cut right. Just by the way the sensor is looking at the middle of the page, and on the screen it's not the same. If that looks like it's going to be the case, I will stop the filming of that clip, and then I will... Yeah, I see it's almost like it's not catching it. Oh, brother. I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen, but I think what I might do is, you know what? I'm just going to cancel this. I might do something manually with this, cut them out manually, but I think I'm just going to print a brand new one. I'm sorry, you guys, but I don't want to screw this up. I just have a feeling because of the paper size and everything that it's going to cut right through it, and I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to go ahead and print another one. I'm not going to put that on camera because you saw that in my last video, but once I do that and then I send it to my printer and all the things, will come back to my desk. Okay, so I'm going to stop right here. All right, you guys, while my printer is printing the image, let's go ahead and weed these. The only issue I have is because this has been rolled up so long, you see how this lifted up here? It's very interesting. I'm going to trim off some of the excess here because it is so sticky. I don't want to deal with too much of this and have issues later. So I'm just going to trim off some of the excess. It's just pretty much on the side and right here on the top. Let's hope this one isn't a fail. But as you saw in my last video, I did find a quick workaround for that. Worst case scenario, that's what I'll have to do. Let's hope all of it doesn't come up because parts of it are already coming up. Yeah, you see? Oh, brother. It's like I didn't want to cut because it lifted there. Let's see if we can get it off without having any issues. So weird. As sticky as the paper is, you would think that this stuff wouldn't come undone from the carrier sheet when it's just rolled up there, but you saw. There we go. Yeah, I know that's because of come on. Stay. There we go. I'll have to fix that. Because it is a little out of place. Okay. Let's just go back and fix that little piece that kind of shifted because it wanted to come up. And you can pretty much see it by the cut line, so I'm going to try to just move it over. I mean, by the little indentation that the blade left on the carrier sheet. There we go. Okay. So that part is done. Now the tricky part is to find where my cut is here. It's right there. I mean, you can barely see it on camera, but I can see it. I just need to make sure that gonna have to put it at an angle here. Trim that right there. Trim the excess off. I'm kind of looking where the cut line is because this is too pretty to waste. So I'm gonna try to salvage some of this. It's right about there. I mean, you can barely see it because it's such a light color. I definitely don't want to cut where the L is. I think I will do it this way. Ha! I know it's such a little thing, but it's too pretty to waste. And I could definitely use this on another project. So, all right. Fingers crossed I didn't cut through anything. I don't think I did. This color is so pretty. This was, like I said, this was one of the ones that was on my Stars mystery box. So if I can, I will try to go on my laptop and add an end card with that video. That way you guys can see what I'm talking about. Look at that. I could have done something with this. It's okay. Now to make sure I don't mess something up here. Ooh, this one's kind of hard. Glitters are always hard to see where the cut marks are. At least for me it is. Unless it's a... this one looks like it's just a wee bit transparent, so it's kind of hard to see where the cut is. Okay. Look at how pretty that is. Okay. Let me go ahead and pause here, and once my print is done, we're going to go ahead and send that to the printer. Again, I'm not going to put that on camera because you saw it in the last week's video. And then we'll get to pressing our shirts. So bear with me. We will be back. Okay guys, as you saw in the other clip, I was struggling. I don't know what I did. I might have to go back and recreate my entire design again where the images of Selena show. So to avoid some of that, I cut out the letters. As you saw, they were already cut, but they didn't line up with my sublimation vinyl. So I had to do the painstaking work of using a heat transfer sheet, the clear sheet here that you saw, in order to adhere them. And it was a pain, but hey, we got it done, right? I'm going to end up using this shirt. I think the contrast will look really nice. I'm just eyeballing it so we can kind of get an idea what it's going to look like, right? We'll worry about all that, obviously, when we get ready to heat press. So this is the heat transfer cover sheet, right? And I lined them up as best as I could to this. Let's hope that it's going to do what it's supposed to do. And this is 100% heavy cotton. Let me double check this. Yes, heavy cotton. I got this at Michael's. Well, yeah. It's funny. It says 50% cotton, 50% polyester. Now I'm worried that maybe I should use black, because then I'll have a black border because it's half and half, which might not necessarily be bad. It might be a little faded. Yeah, we'll still do it. It's for me. Why not? And then, of course, this. I'm curious to see what this is going to look like on this color. Oh, yeah. And I am not going to put rhinestones on this, as I mentioned before. I'm just going to leave it like that. So let's go ahead and get my heat press up to temperature. Follow the directions here for the HTVRont heat transfer vinyl. I believe it is, oh, let me see. I hate that they put it in Celsius because I have to like do math. I want to say it's about 390 degrees or so for 10 seconds. And then we peel it down and all the fun stuff. So, and it's just a little higher once we get to the sublimation. So let me get my heat press on, let it get up to temperature, and then we'll move on to the next step, guys. I'm frustrated, but we're going to do this. We got this. Okay, guys. It's actually 311 degrees for 10 seconds to heat press the HTVRont sublimation vinyl on the shirt. So I've already gone over it with my lint roller. So I'm just going to take out a little bit of moisture. It says it's not necessary, but I still do it anyway. And I am just going to eyeball it. Again, it's just for me. And I'm going to use the center right there of the point, since it's a V-neck shirt. I'm going to go ahead and just make my little middle crease there. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but again, it's for me. It's not a big deal. I don't know. I can never get the HTVRont sublimation just right, but we are just going to roll with it. I've got to leave a little bit of room for the signature. So I just double check that everything looks pretty centered. That looks fine. All right. 311 for 10 seconds. And it is a cold peel, so we got to wait until it cools off. So I'm going to actually take it off of here. Let it cool off. Let me pause here so you guys don't have to wait for that, and then I'll be right back. Actually, while that's cooling off, I'm going to raise my temperature to 392 and move it up to, the directions say 392 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 to 50 seconds. So I'm going to set it to 45 seconds at 392. So I'm just going to up this real quick. All right. While that is coming up, all right, now we'll just let my shirt cool off a minute. Let me pause until it's cooled down. Let's cool down. All right, let's go ahead and peel the backing. I'm just going to be very careful because this stuff is so sticky. You guys saw how I was struggling to lay the sublimation on the heat transfer vinyl transfer sheet because I had to cut all the letters out individually. So we'll see if now if it's gonna line up how I lined it up when I was doing the overlay, right? Let's hope. Well, the heat press is coming up to temperature. This should line up, but you know, I just want to make sure that I'm centered as best as I can. I'm just gonna go with that. Honestly, I have fiddled around with this too much already. I'm definitely gonna have to just redo my entire design again. Unfortunately, you see, I could actually see white right there. I don't want that. And again, I don't know if this vinyl stretches as you pull the carrier sheet because it is very sticky. So I don't know. It's just kind of frustrating to me that I'm always struggling. The struggle is real when it comes to this. I love what you can do with HTVRont sublimation vinyl, but when you do intricate cuts like this, I always struggle. Of course, if I was doing a square, it's going to come out perfect because it's a square. But when you do intricate cuts like this, it's a whole other story. It's kind of frustrating, but it is what it is. What can I do? We'll let that get up to temperature, and we will be back when temperature comes back to 392. Guys, okay, we got 2 more degrees for it to go up, and then once I put the heat press down, I will go ahead and speed through this. Okay. Okay, you guys, this says that the sublimation is a warm peel, so we're going to take this off of here and bring it back over to my desk, and then I'll meet you over there for the reveal. Let's hope it didn't come out all jacked up. Okay, a warm peel. Let's see the mess that I might have done. Wait. Oh, I was going to say, what the heck? Okay, it's not 100% perfect. There's just a little bit of white there, but I am happy with that. Woo! Took a little extra elbow grease there to get it just right, but darn. The problem here, of course, is the cutout, but that's okay. I think we can still, I mean, you can see, but I think that's actually going to look kind of cool because you can still see her face. This is a 50% polyester and 50% cotton shirt, so you can see the entire face of Selena here. So let's see how this is gonna look once the temperature comes up. Oh yeah, it's gonna look so cool. Woo! I'm actually happy with the outcome considering that I had to do a little extra work here, but I am okay with that. Okay, the only thing here is I have to kind of manipulate this so it can come out. So there's not too much of a gap here. I'm just trying to make sure that the gaps here are even. I tell you, I feel like this stretches a little bit when we peel off the carrier sheet. Okay, that's perfect. I actually am digging this. Nope, the paper didn't come off right here. There we go. Whew, I'm glad I noticed that. Okay, we're gonna wait until my heat press comes back to temperature, back down to temperature, for the glitter heat transfer vinyl 320. I'm only gonna do it for 10 seconds, because of this, and I might get lines here. I wonder if I should trim. No, that's fine. I might get lines there, but I'll just press it again and whatever happens, happens. Okay, so let's go back to my heat press. All right, we need just about 5 more degrees for it to come down before I heat press this. So I'm going to go ahead and get a piece of parchment paper right here, because obviously it was sublimated. in we shall go. Now I'm only gonna do it for 10 seconds. Then I'll press it again because I'm sure I'm gonna have those lines from the carrier sheet of the glitter vinyl, but that's okay. Man, I am digging that. Now I'm just gonna flip this over. I had the trying to remember which side. Okay, I just flip this over and then I'm gonna press it again to get any lines out. And then we are done, and I'll take it back to my table so we can get a very up close look, you guys. All right, let me turn this off. Again, I'm not adding the rhinestones to this. All right, let's go back to my table. All right, guys, here it is. I'm so glad, and I did it off camera because I had forgotten to do, I still have a little piece of paper there. I had forgotten to do the offset to add a little bit of black just so I wouldn't miss any of the white sections. The only part is right there, but honestly, it's not even that noticeable. So I'm going to take you off camera so we can get a really, really good look. Look at that. I'm actually happier with this one than with my black shirt. My black shirt, not my niece's, mine. I like that because this is a half and half blend shirt, you still see the vague image of the letter here and here. But wow, that's amazing. So I would definitely keep using, I mean, I just bought this big old roll of their sublimation vinyl not too long ago because I was running out. This is 10 feet. I was running out and I want to keep using it. And despite the mistakes and stuff, I think it's an amazing product. So let me turn the camera around and we will have a quick chat before I end the video. All right, so there you have it, you guys. Isn't that amazing? I thought it was going to turn out to be a flop, but as you can see, it came out amazing. I am very pleased with this. I might actually continue to use this technique on the multi-blend shirts that have some type of polyester in them. I was really shocked as much as I struggled with it. And I'm being honest, I don't really know if anybody knows if you guys have had the same issue where you do an intricate cut with the HTVRont Sublimation HTV and then it doesn't line up. Because for me, I feel like it's because it stretches a little bit when you're peeling off the transfer sheet. That's just my opinion. I don't know, but I hope you learned something from this part 2 series. As far as part 1, part 2, it's not really a series, but as far as the different mediums you can use on a shirt, you can definitely layer different mediums, right? But if you did learn something and you enjoyed this content, could you please hit the like button? And if you would consider subscribing, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Everybody knows that I am really trying hard to grow my channel. Right now that I'm currently not working, I am going to make an effort of trying to upload a video every week. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.